The battle bridge of the asterisk Eternal Glory asterisk fell silent as Captain Trell stared at the tactical display. The massive warship, pride of the Vixarian fleet, hung in orbit around the small blue-green planet. His crew, elite warriors who had conquered 17 worlds, exchanged worried glances as data streamed in from their scanners. "This cannot be correct," Trell murmured, his four eyes blinking in sequence. "Verify these readings." Lieutenant Val, his second-in-command, consulted her instruments again. "Confirmed, Captain. The humans are actively settling in the crimson wastes of Nexus 6. A collective hiss of disbelief swept through the bridge. Nexus 6 was infamous throughout the galaxy. A hellscape planet with atmospheric pressure that could crush standard environmental suits, acid rain that dissolved metal, and predators evolved specifically to hunt anything that moved. The Vexarians had marked it as uninhabitable centuries ago. No species had ever attempted colonization until now. "Show me," Trell ordered. The main view screen flickered to life, displaying a human settlement taking shape amid swirling crimson dust storms. Prefabricated habitats stood in neat rows, connected by enclosed walkways. Humans in minimal protective gear moved about, apparently unbothered by conditions that would kill most sentient species in minutes. "They're not just surviving there," Val noted with a tremor in her voice. "They're thriving." Trell's mandibles clicked nervously. The humans' homeworld, Earth, was classified as a Class 5 Deathworld, harsh by galactic standards, but nowhere near as lethal as Nexus 6. Yet here they were, conquering the unconquerable. "This changes our invasion assessment," he said quietly. 3 months earlier, Admiral Davis of the United Earth Defense Force had stood before the Planetary Council with a radical proposal. "Nexus 6 has the largest deposits of quantum crystals in the sector," she explained, pointing to geological surveys. "We need those crystals to power our new shield technology. Yes, the planet is hostile, but no more so than parts of Earth were to our ancestors." Council Member Jones leaned forward. "The Vixarians have been expanding aggressively. They'll see any move into their claimed territory as provocation." "Let them," Davis replied. "We're not looking for a fight, but we won't back down from one either. Besides, they've never set foot on Nexus 6. They've just put it on a map and called it theirs." The council voted. Operation Frontier began. Back on the asterisk Eternal Glory asterisk, Trell reviewed the intelligence reports on humans. These strange bipeds had evolved on a world with extreme temperature variations, crushing gravity, toxic flora, deadly fauna, and natural disasters. Their bodies were fragile compared to Vixarian exoskeletons, but they possessed remarkable adaptability. What truly unsettled him was their history. Humans had conquered their own world first, taming environments from Arctic tundra to scorching deserts. They built cities in places that should have killed them. They turned deadly challenges into opportunities. "Captain," Val interrupted his thoughts, "we've intercepted a transmission from the human settlement." The message was simple. Asterisk Nexus colony to Earth Command. Phase 1 complete. Beginning mineral extraction. Weather conditions challenging but manageable. No casualties this week. Asterisk. No casualties asterisk this week asterisk. The implication chilled Trell to his core. On the surface of Nexus 6, Colony Director Mark wiped caustic sweat from his brow as he inspected the newly operational mining facility. The quantum crystal extraction was proceeding ahead of schedule, despite the planet's best efforts to kill them all. "How's the new acid filtration system working?" he asked Chief Engineer Tom. "Better than expected," Tom replied, tapping his tablet. "We're adapting some principles from deep-sea vent colonies back on Earth. This planet throws a lot at us, but nothing we haven't seen some version of before." Mark nodded. When they'd first arrived, 3 colonists had died in the first storm. 5 more during the initial construction phase. The planet was merciless, but humanity had faced merciless before. "Perimeter sensors are picking up some unusual readings in orbit," Communications Officer Lisa reported. "Definitely not one of ours." Mark frowned. Intelligence had warned them the Vixarians might take notice. "Keep monitoring," he ordered, "but don't break routine. We've got work to do." Trell had called his war council. We could obliterate their settlement from orbit, his weapons officer suggested, and start a war with a species that treats Nexus 6 like a mild inconvenience. Trell shook his head. I've studied their conflicts. They're tenacious beyond reason. The science officer spoke up. Their adaptation capabilities are extraordinary. Give enough time, they might even develop resistance to our bioweapons. Trell stood at the viewport, watching the harsh surface of Nexus 6 below. The realization dawned on him with terrifying clarity. If humans could conquer a planet like this, what couldn't they conquer? Including, perhaps, the Vexarians themselves. When the Vexarian shuttle landed outside the human colony, Mark was waiting in the airlock. A delegation of alien warriors, towering and armored, seemed oddly hesitant as they entered. "Welcome to Nexus Colony," Mark said simply. "You've come a long way." Captain Trell studied the human before him, so physically unimposing yet standing confidently in a world that should have killed him instantly. "We can understand," Trell admitted finally. Mark smiled. "Let me show you what we've built here." As they toured the colony, Trell observed humans repairing equipment amid toxic fumes, cultivating plants and soil that could dissolve metal, and planning expansions with casual determination. When a minor tremor shook the facility, the humans barely reacted while his own warriors flinched. "The thing about Deathworlds," Mark explained, noticing Trell's observation, "is that they teach you persistence. On Earth, we've survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, pandemics, and our own mistakes. Nexus 6 is just another challenge." Trell understood then what truly made humans dangerous. It wasn't weaponry or technology. It was their inability to accept defeat, even from a planet itself. The Vexarian Empire would not be launching its planned invasion of human space. Some enemies weren't worth making. Some species were better as allies, especially those who could look at a nightmare world and call it home.